Chuck. We all live beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Good? Good, good, good. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, made more beautiful by all of your shining faces. We're going to start with a prelude called Swimming to the Other Side. And I'm going to ask that you join me on the chorus. And I think they're going to post the words. I'm going to sing through the chorus. Then there's some verses, but please join me. It's a pretty simple melody. And it goes like this. We are living 'neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Well, I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced on the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection will be my crime. In humility, I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. Join me. We are living 'neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Well, through this journey, through thoughts and feelings, binding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me band together to be my guide. Loving lessons I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. Together. We are living in the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. And when we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning. We never noticed that they were there. We can balance on the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. All together. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. And loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
What a great way to start the morning. Thank you, Rachel. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those of who have opted to join us online. For those joining us this morning in person, and I just realized I didn't do this myself, turn off the sound on your cell phone. We'll pause briefly while I do that. There we go. And those of you at home are muted already. My name is Tim Versteeg. My pronouns are he, him, and it is my privilege to serve the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton as its religious educator. Together with our interim minister, the Reverend Jamie Boyce, I will be leading today's service. We thank the many people who are co-creating our service experience this morning. Our speakers this morning are our coming-of-age youth, Myas Laurie Joyce, Chase Tapley, Nicola O'Shea, and Harley Appleton. Yeah, absolutely. Our music ministers are Rachel Derry and Nicola O'Shea. Our tech team is John Elliott, Josh McIntyre, Brian Carey, Cindy Carey, and a young person I do not know. Amen. Good to have you. Our ushers are Daphne Payne and it says Elizabeth Beckett on my list. Yes, Elizabeth Beckett, she is here. Elizabeth's in the house. And our worship associates, sorry, feeling a little goofy today. Our worship associates are Paula Borner and Sue Johnstone. As always in our multi-generational services, our CYRE activity cart is available at the front to borrow items to keep young hands or not so young hands active during the service. And that is our introduction. Our announcements. A vital part of our lives and ministries together to each other and the world are the sharing of news in our community. This morning we have these announcements to share. Bill Johnson, co-chair of our affordable housing team, invites you all to a very special housing event. It's on Tuesday evening, June 6th, and will feature a much sought out housing expert, Dr. Carolyn Witzman. Carolyn is working with cities like Hamilton and Ottawa on very practical, very focused steps to build more nonprofit housing that people on low and even middle incomes can afford. That is exactly what the church wanted to do when we launched our housing work 8 years ago. We wanted to find solutions, so we think you come away both better informed. We think you will come away both better informed and inspired from this event. It's June 6th, 7 to 8:30 on Zoom, but you need to register. To learn more, talk to Bill Johnson. Johnsons, we got them both. And also, just a reminder, and the posters are everywhere, that next week is our spring festival celebrating community. It's the 100th anniversary of the Flower Communion. And we will be having a service to start, and then a live auction, and then much fun and frivolity will ensue afterwards. See the posters. And for more information about these events, or to register for particular things, please see our website and your weekly all-church email. We begin with our land acknowledgement. The city of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. As settlers, we continue to benefit from the land and its resources, and as settlers, we must ask ourselves how or if we have shared and cared for the earth and its gifts. Facing the truth is hard, but truth must come before reconciliation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, today you are one of us and you are welcome in this house of worship. Our mission is to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world. Our chalice represents the light of hope at the center of our faith tradition. The spark of this flame draws us into our time of worship and community. Please join me in reading the chalice lighting words now shared on the screen behind us. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Are you ready to start this extraordinary day? Good morning. It is so good to be with you. My name is Reverend Jamie Boyce. I have the great privilege of serving this congregation as its interim minister. In that role, I journey with you, the congregation, through a process of reflection in preparation of calling your next settled minister. And we are well on our way in that process. It is a very exciting time here at the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton, and today is a very special day. Today we will officially welcome new members to our community, and we will witness and celebrate the youth in our Coming of Age program. It is good to notice this vibrancy among us. So I hope maybe you got your celebration instrument at the door. It's one of those days we're going to go big. So if you want to head back, we have instruments so we can play to the music. We can celebrate our new members and our youth in our community, joyously make a joyous noise among us. Next Sunday, we will gather for the 100th anniversary of Flower Communion and the Spring Festival and Fundraiser. We will have service at 10:30 with the live auction starting at 11 a.m. and then lots of fun, the frivolity and shenanigans that Tim talked about will start at 11:30. Shenanigans for real, like all over our church campus. So join us next Sunday. If you're interested in volunteering, we do need a couple more volunteers to help with the day, but you can see me after service or see Gail after service or Barb Wallace or Sue Stewart Green. All of these wonderful folks would be happy to support you in finding a way to serve. And because I know you'll be hungry with all these shenanigans happening, there'll also be lunch, so you come hungry, come excited to create beloved community among us. So, let us prepare for worship. Let us welcome this glorious day, this glorious sunshine-filled day among us. I invite you to greet your neighbors, perhaps turn to them, place your heart on your hand and say, I'm glad you're here. And if you're joining us online, greet each other in the chat. Is it in here?
It's like 361.
Okay. Let's take all that energy and rise in song for our first hymn, 361. You're going to want your noisemaker for this one. Enter, rejoice, and come in, number 361 in your gray hymnal, and the words are behind us.
Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the louder. Woo! And to rejoice and today will be a joyful day. And to rejoice and come in.
I'm out of breath. Throughout the year, we formally welcome newcomers to our community. This morning, we will recognize 7 new members. Yeah. This is a special recognition as we joyfully acknowledge you, our new members, as a gift to our community. With this recognition, the signing of the book, you have chosen this community as a place to belong, a place to grow spiritually, and a place to grow in community. We are grateful for you. Your unique talents and gifts and desires, and we are looking forward to the ways in which we will be changed by you. I invite our new members forward to the dais to be recognized as I call their names. Nancy, thank you. Just to pause, this is Nancy Wilson. Nancy has served, yes! Nancy is a co-chair, is that fair? Co-lead of our visitor and congregational engagement team. And Nancy is often the first person to offer a warm and gracious welcome at our front door. We are glad you're here. Leah Spence. Leah is not able to join us, but Leah shares being involved with social justice teams at the church and extending into the community is my passion. My work focuses on inclusivity, housing, food, identity, and health and security for all, actively involved in a conscious, responsible, empowering way. We look forward to welcoming you, Leah. Perhaps you're joining us online. We're glad you're here. Melanie Schwint. Melanie cannot be with us today, but Melanie shares, I have been searching for a community of like-minded individuals, a place to call home, a place that celebrates diversity and views all living beings precious as a gift of great value that needs to be respected, cared for, and loved. I have found all of this at the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. Melanie, we are glad you're here, and we look forward to welcoming you on another day. Louis McKinney, are you here today? Yay! For 10 years, Louis shared, I was a Unitarian Universalist member of the Congregation of Gwinnett, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a freelance writer and editor, retired English professor, and mom of 3 grown sons. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Andrew Wallace. Andrew is not here, but I know Jen is. So Jen, you're next in the queue. Come on. Andrew Wallace grew up here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Hamilton, volunteers in the Children and Youth Religious Education Program, and is a lifelong Unitarian Universalist. You will see Andrew frequently in our CYRE, our Children and Youth Program. And this is Jen Wallace. Jen Wallace shares, my family began attending the Unitarian Church when my children were young. I have volunteered with the Children and Youth Religious Exploration Program and currently volunteer on the communications and festival teams. Indeed, you have been a rock as we have planned this spring festival. So thank you, Jen. We are glad you are here. Thank you for being with us. And Maya Lynn. Maya cannot be with us today, and Maya shares that she came to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Hamilton as a child and always loved it. Born and raised in Hamilton, she is an early childhood educator, loves mangoes and the color orange. And I know Maya's in good company there. Right. Tanya Collins. Tanya. Tanya currently volunteers in the Children and Youth Religious Exploration Program and is passionate about justice in our congregation and in the world. It has been a joy to get to know you, Tanya. Thank you. We're glad you're here. Join me in words of affirmation, welcoming our new members. The words will appear on the screen behind me. There they are. And we are going to welcome you. Here, let me share this with you. Here. There we go. There we go. To you who are now joining our church as new members, we extend a warm welcome and our blessing. May the journey we take together nurture and enrich our lives through our bonds of fellowship and love. As members of the Unitarian Church of Hamilton, we respect the honest search for truth and meaning in all persons and all religions. We strive to accept differences as opportunities for growth in our life and community of faith. We celebrate and honor our common purpose with a shared commitment to enhance the quality of life for all. And we have gifts for you. Oh, no, please, I would love your help. We have in these bundles a few gifts of welcome. We have a tiny welcome book, which is a tradition among Unitarian Universalist congregations. It's a little blue book that says welcome, a Unitarian Universalist primer. It's quite small, so I can't promise that all your questions about our faith will be answered in that tiny book, but it's a place to hold your heart and to remind you of how much we care about you and your faith journey. You are beloved among us. Welcome. Let us celebrate. Will you sign the book? Let us celebrate. Welcome. Woo!
Our time for all ages this morning is going to be a retrospective look at our coming of age program. As soon as it comes up. There we go. There are parts of my job I like more than others. I think we're all like that. But the part of my job I have loved the most this year has been Sunday afternoons with the coming of age and junior youth kids. Kids, youth, young adults, whatever you want to call them. They are a fabulous group of people. End of story. My clicker is giving me a problem because it was left on and I'm worried the batteries are off. Oh, there we go. Early on this year, when we first met together, we created a mural together. And if you look at the mural, you can see that the group hadn't quite cohered at this point. They're kind of all over the place. And it was a getting to know you activity, and we started to get to know each other on that day. As we moved forward, we did create a covenant to share together and to keep us in relationship with each other. And I'm just going to read you that covenant now. We covenant together to aspire to live our 8 principles, to be how we are and be yourself, to show up and participate as you are able, be willing to answer questions, but also have the right to pass, to be respectful of each other, not to make harmful comments, be accepting, to take space and make space for each other, listening actively and intently to understand what each other means, to follow the oops, ouch model for slips, create an environment where everyone is comfortable and welcome, be open-minded, Vegas rules confidentiality, and to ask questions and challenge others when necessary, but to do it respectfully, and that this is a living document and would be reviewed and changed by the group as needed. And we did come back to it over the course of the year. Sometimes our facilitators had to get a club out. This is a game called Poetry for Neanderthals. And here you see Chase and Gail playing the game. Sometimes we just got silly in the circles. And again, Myas and Gail playing a game called What Are You Doing? And the next slide is also from that same game and shows Mary doing something. I can't even remember what you were doing, Mary, but it was fun. And then sometimes we did collaborative games together. This is a series of pictures that are, one person would start with one color, and we all had our backs to each other, and then we passed them around, and each person would add to the pictures. And some would be, as you expect, very environmentally motivated. And then some were a little abstract, as our thoughts often were in coming of age. Sometimes unexpected things happen. As Nicola drew their house, but Gail decided it needed an apartment building built next to it to house some of our intensity of population in Hamilton. And sometimes a rocket ship became a chalice, became a vase, and it just mutated as we went along, as did the program. We played a lot of games. This was a game called Popcorn Peril. So one person, and we paired each other off with facilitators and the youth and facilitators took turns in calling out right, left, front, forward, back, slow down, speed up, as the other person who was blindfolded made their way across and tried not to step on the popcorn. And yes, we cleaned up after ourselves. Sometimes we tried to do some Pictionary. Some of us were more successful than others, but this is Harley drawing. What were you drawing there, Harley? Penguin, yes. This is Harley's penguin. And on that particular day, we practiced what we preach because we had Linda Thompson and her grandson join us because they were waiting around. So we were fully multi-generational and welcoming into our space. One of the highlights of our year was doing interviews with a number of our congregants, some of whom you'll see in the pictures here. And those interviews are all archived now on our website. We had thought about bringing them into this space, but there was just, you ask a Unitarian to tell you about themselves? There's a lot of material there. But we will be getting back to that and trying to figure out how we might present that to the congregation, maybe in next year's youth group. Anyway, these are some pictures of those interviews. Here you see Ann Craig Howarth. Linda Thompson and Kate Hicks did it together. Kate had grown up in the church. Harley is the interviewer in both of these cases. And then on the one day, Beverly Horton was facilitating, and she set us up with some Zoom calls. So Pat and Reverend Stephen Atkinson, Pat Dickinson, Reverend Stephen Atkinson, and Juliana Beckett were the interviewees on that day. So to all the congregational partners, we also had folks from social justice join us. We also had, as I say, a number of other interviewees. We had Beverly Horton come in and speak on the 8th principle. Beverly was also one of our alternate facilitators, as was Audrey Johnman, who joined us on occasion. I just want to say thank you. It does take a village to support our youth, and I want to thank everybody who was part of this year. And that is the end of the time for all ages.
You've heard me share throughout my time here that I believe gratitude is a spiritual practice. That when we hold gratitude, we deepen our life connections, we affirm life with our gratitude. And this service today is full of gratitude. Gratitude for the many people it takes to build the beloved community, to bring us all into the future, and to support us on this magnificent and often very messy life journey we're on. I'm especially grateful this morning to those that traveled with us to Ottawa last week. There were 8, I think I got that right, 8 Unitarian Universalists from the Church of Hamilton at the CUC Symposium last week. And we had a magnificent time there. It was my first time to Ottawa, so that was wonderful. But I am grateful for those that made the journey to deepen our faith and our connections, and you will be hearing more about that adventure in the weeks to come. As we find ourselves perched on the edge of summer, savoring and celebrating all matter of springtime miracles, let us rest our hearts, our bodies, our minds, our spirits in a poem this morning. Perhaps during this time you might discover your breath, feel it quiet, feel it softening, or notice the beating of your heart holding you in this time of reflection. Our poem this morning is a familiar one, "The Summer Day" from Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaw back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I don't want to interrupt the chatter of the birds. It's so beautiful to hear them. I know there are joys and sorrows among us this morning. Sorrows too tender yet to share. And we hold those sorrows in this community with tenderness and care. I know there are joys among us as well, and we celebrate your quiet joys with you in this sacred place. Amen and blessed be.
The offering that we accept each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit ourselves to this community and to our relationships with each other. When we give, we say yes to something that we value. With gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. If you are joining us online this morning and would like to make a donation to the life of this church, there's a button on the homepage of our website which would allow you to do so. Our offering music this morning is another chance to sing together, number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
And we know you don't have the words. That's okay. You can just sing along as best you can, or hum if you don't know the words. It's come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, just one more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no cavern of despair. Come yet again, come yet again, come yet again, come.
Our ministries to one another and to the community are appreciated. Thank you. I would now like to call Beverly Horton to come and introduce our first speaker this morning, Myas Laurie Joyce. Myas, you can come up with her too.
So the coming of age mentorship went a little bit differently this year than in years past. In years past, the mentors had a chance to meet with the youth over a course of several months. This year, not so much. Myas and I only had maybe 3 opportunities to hang out with one another. I could tell you, though, that he appears to be a very quiet, introspective young man. I was only disabused of that notion fairly recently, and I'll explain why. So I said we'd only had about 3 times to spend time with one another. We worked on his credo last week for a good bit of time. So I tried to be slick. I sent Myas an email and said, Myas, if you had to introduce yourself to somebody, what would you say? Who is Myas? So this is what he wrote back to me. This is a bit hard. I personally feel that when someone introduces someone else, it would be better if it was based on what the introducer knows and sees and feels on their own. It gets better. Instead of asking the subject, so it feels less canny and scripted, it may be more humorous as well, knowing you, that's me. So if we would do it like this, then consider me excited. It's the quiet ones. It's the quiet ones you need to watch out for. The other thing I learned about Myas is that he's a keen enthusiast of football, which for us is soccer. The rest of the world calls football. And I think that's going to figure quite prominently in his credo. So, ladies and gentlemen, Myas Laurie Joyce.
Hello? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, wrong script. Hello, my name is Myas, and my pronouns are he, they. Now, you may be wondering how this came to be, but more on this later. Before we get started, though, I'd like you to know that one of the biggest things about me is sport, specifically soccer, as Beverly told you, or as some of you might call it, football. My love for this sport is a very large part of me and defines a really big amount, like a really huge amount on how I live. For example, if I'm told that it's going to be sunny all day, every single day of the week, I'll think, oh, perfect soccer weather. You may see here, I have a soccer ball, and I carry it around with me all the time. All of the time. Even if I'm going somewhere I can never use the ball, I still have it. In fact, this ball was gifted to me by my phys ed teacher, who got tired of me kicking a basketball around in his class. But I don't have time to play soccer all day, every day, do I? No. I came to the church to work and to learn and to have fun and to eat the food. But this time, I'm fine with dropping soccer for an hour or two, because since I've begun doing so back in October, I've learned so much in coming of age youth group. And soccer may be just a sport, but it's with other players and coaches and spectators. The things I learn at church carry over to nearly all situations, including soccer and sports. And these things I learned, the three biggest and most significant things I've learned here, are empathy, mindfulness, and respect. Let's start with empathy. Empathy from one person to another, I feel, is a very rare occurrence. For one person to put themselves in another person's shoes is hard, even when it's with a dear friend or a relative. But true empathy requires you to always be putting yourself in other people's shoes, or slippers, or boots, or soccer cleats. I have a story for this. A few weeks back, me and my family were going to a little trail to do a 5-kilometer run. We were invited by some family friends who lived quite near us, but decided not to carpool as both cars were packed with people anyways. On the road, we ran into trouble. Slow drivers. Not slow, but not fast enough for us. We were getting a bit fed up, as our overall tolerance for bad and slow driving in the family was quite low. We made some unhappy comments. Later, when we were getting off the highway, we noticed the same car in front of us. After a while of slow driving, it became clear that they were heading to the same place as us, or at least nearby. My mother jokingly said, "Hey, what if it's our family friends?" A minute later, when we passed them on a wider road, we see our friends waving at us, not knowing that they had been the primary conversation topic inside our car for the past 15 minutes. As soon as we were out of eyesight, we burst out laughing. Now, I'm sure many of you can relate to this story, maybe as a frustrated driver, maybe as a slow one. But have you ever tried to excuse the other driver? Oh, they might be driving slowly because a really important work call has came up, so they have to phone and drive. How unlucky. Or, they're probably driving so impatiently because they're late for a family visit. Man, I sure hate when that happens. And if you notice yourself excusing the faults of other people, you are becoming a better person, as this is one of the first steps to true empathy. Now, let's get to my second learning, mindfulness. Now, as a teenager with siblings, it's easy to sometimes lose control of actions and words. Mindfulness is the ability to keep that control, and instead of kicking a soccer ball at your brother because he hit you first, or yelling at your sister to not touch your Pokemon cards, instead of doing that, you can search through your past experiences to come up with better solutions. Now for this topic, I don't quite have a specific example. It's more of a repeated thing, with only a little variation. Funny enough, it's once a week on Sundays at church, and it started when coffee hour started. And what goes with coffee? Sugar. Those little yellow and white and red packets of sugar, or even the tubes straight from the little clay pot. But they're a perfect target for any compulsive, sneaky little boys and girls, namely my siblings. On my work days, as some of you probably know, I work here, and on my work days, I must viciously defend the table from all threats, and when that eventually fails, I have to submit my brother and sister to a full screening, checking their pockets, their hair, even their footwear, anywhere that can conceal something like that. And disclaimer for the sugar and coffee fans, none of the sugar packets I receive that came from inside boots, mouths, or socks have been returned to the pot. So you have not been eating contaminated sugar. And normally this is fun and games-ish, but sometimes it really grinds on my nerves and I feel a little bit annoyed. Mindfulness is not just self-control. After all, ignoring the problem won't help in this situation. Mindfulness is first, yes, controlling your emotions, so not to impact your actions, but then you must think about what steps you have to take next and then follow through. Mindfulness requires you to think and have a broad understanding to make decisions. This is one of the reasons I chose to use he, they pronouns, so that in some fields I have bigger vision and area of comprehension. Finally, my third learning here at church. Respect. This is a biggie. Respect is normally quite easy, but sometimes in the presence of someone you don't like, or when you're tired or sick, respect can be harder than anyone thought it could be. And not just respect for human beings. All living creatures are part of this ecosystem, and each and every part of it, except one, should be treated with due respect. You may notice I made a little exception, which are mosquitoes. I do not give any respect to those insects, ever. But even they contribute to the ecosystem, and their extinction would cause extinctions in other species, like bats, insects, reptiles, and fish, and others who rely on mosquitoes to feed them. Male mosquitoes also pollinate plants, and like it or not, they're vital to the earth. If everyone in the world had even a bit of respect for everyone and everything else, think of what the world would be like. No more petty squabbles, no more wars, no more giant soccer club fan brawls in England. We may even have a chance to work together to fix the earth. And if you ever manage to respect a mosquito as a living being, congrats. You are the first person to do so. Empathy, mindfulness, respect. Together, those could ultimately create what the sixth principle envisions, and the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. But to do that, everyone has to work with each other and do their best to be emphatic, mindful, and respectful. Finally, my challenge for you all. Can you do your best to embody those three things? When you're in an argument, try imagining what the other person is thinking and think from their perspective to give you a better understanding to make a better decision so that they can respect you and you can respect them. Thank you.
Thanks, Myas. So I have the privilege of introducing our second speaker today. Our second speaker, Chase Tapley, began attending our church with his parents, Dan Tapley and Brenda Jackson, when he was about 6 years old. And I first got to know Chase during our UU potlucks and game nights at the time, where his family were regular attendees. Now, in the years since, apparently the games nights kind of planted a seed with Chase, because he is now a superlative chess player who is competing all over the place. And you may also recognize Chase as a regular member of our tech team on Sunday mornings. So welcome, Chase.
My name is Chase Tapley, and my pronouns are he, him. Something about me, as Tim said, I like playing chess a lot. I find that it helps me stay occupied, as well as improving my overall ability to think. COA has helped me with a lot of things. This includes learning how to navigate healthy relationships with respect and being able to look out for my friends. The program also helped me learn to adapt to change and also helped develop the ability to provide service to other people. We built respect between each other by establishing a covenant, and it allowed us to build trust with each other, as well as an overall positive environment. The development of my confidence in trying new things helped me start searching for more chess tournaments outside of just regular school tournaments. It also helped me meet new people in my school environment. Late last year, I began helping with the tech team during services, and it allowed me to get more involved with church activities. I would say the COA program helped me develop empathy for others more than I had before. Recently, I received an award in Scouting called the Medal of the Maple, which was given to youth who were providing services to others. COA helped me develop myself in ways that I had previously not believed I could develop. I had a better ability to recognize healthy relationships, and I was able to adapt to change, which helped me put more effort into providing service for other people, and I became more happier overall than most other years. In the future, I would like to learn more about the ways other congregations participate in Unitarian Universalism.
Good morning, or afternoon almost. It has been a great pleasure and honor for me to support and to accompany all 4 participants of the Coming of Age program this year. I am especially pleased to have been able to have Nicola as a very special person to me on this team. Nicola's quiet and introspective, and she reminded me of my younger self. There was something drawing me to her. Unlike my younger self, or my present self, Nicola is a talented musician who will be playing the piano. You have heard her play before, I'm sure. My musical, what I play, for those of you who are older will understand, the stereo. Okay, that's pretty, and I dabble here and there. So I guess there's really not much else for me to say other than my happy heart and I would like to introduce Nicola O'Shea.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Nicola O'Shea and my pronouns are she, her. I love reading and music. I love listening to and playing music, which you will hear some of that later. I also love spending time with my family and friends and being out in nature. One thing I don't really love is public speaking, so I will probably keep this a bit brief. Throughout Coming of Age program, I've learned so much and I've been able to reflect on such a wide variety of topics relating to identity, values, world religion, as well as learning about this church and Unitarianism as a whole. A few months ago, we did a series of interviews with members of the church community. A common theme in the interviews was people saying that they felt accepted and at home in this church community. This was also kind of how I felt during the Coming of Age program. This has been such a nice and enriching and fun experience, and it's been such a privilege to discuss and share with my peers and with the amazing facilitators of this group. I definitely still have a lot to reflect on in terms of core values and beliefs, but this has been such a good starting point. So thank you so much to Tim and Mary and Gail and Beverly and everyone else who joined us in the sessions, and Tobias and Harley and Chase. You guys have all been great, so thank you, and that's it.
It's my privilege this morning to introduce Harley Appleton. I got to know Harley a little bit because I knew one of his grandmas, Andrea, from Blooms for Africa and from here in the church. and I'd like to welcome all of Harley's extended family this morning. In coming of age, I think, Harley, that was one of the first times you really engaged in the church, and you're going to say a bit about that. Harley and I connected first in one of our games called ping pong, where I think he was a little surprised that this old girl knew a little more sports teams than he did. It was a bit of a shock. Harley has explained to me that his family's committed to a variety of social justice projects. And I have found this young man to be incredibly thoughtful. Harley and I share something else, and that is both of us kind of do our best thinking out loud. And that's a very strange phenomenon to the introverts in this world, many of whom were part of coming of age, except for Harley and me. I think you will hear Harley's creativity and thoughtfulness, and I know that you are going to take something away with his closure that you are never going to forget. Welcome, Harley.
Good morning. My name is Harley Appleton. My pronouns are he, him, and I am here to share with you my coming of age credo. This morning I want to share some big ideas about welcoming community, helping, and religion, and destiny. I'm a person who is very easily excited. I always try to make the best of things, no matter what it is. I wasn't looking to join another church program. But the difference here was this church is welcoming and not just trying to get new people in church. The coming of age community gave me more confidence. I treasure the community a lot, and I know I can always come here if I need support and trust. I can be myself. I might come, I might go, but I will always come back to this church. One of my favorite activities was the interviews with longtime church members. I learned a lot about the church. It was really helpful because I learned how people got into the church, about their struggles, and how the church has helped people and changed people's lives. So I do karate, and when I'm at karate, I do leadership. I volunteer and help teach classes with kids who are 3 to 12 years old. It's good when I can help someone younger than me and see them succeed. It creates a positive energy, a satisfaction that I had some part in their success. Helping is important to me. Human rights and environmental justice are both important in my family. Knowing that the church works on these things is a very big factor of why I come to this church. The Coming of Age program made these values more important to me. Coming of age has helped me learn about religion a lot more. It's a lot more important than I thought it was. It's not just you believe in something, but it helps you believe in yourself and find purpose. I learned about how vast religion is, vast understanding of religion, and meaningful practices. I enjoyed a mindfulness exercise with a Clementine. This meditation actually got me interested. I'm not usually much for meditations, but the hands-on part gave me the extra thing I needed. It was calming and fulfilling. Before I came to coming of age, my ideas were very cut and dry. You were born, you live, then you die. Now, not everything is as certain as it looks. There has to be a purpose. I am open to more things. They say the odds are 1 in 400 quadrillion that you get born. I wonder, is that actually the odds, or are we always going to get born? Are we over-mathing something, or is it destiny? As humans, we want everything to be certain. But I feel like there's lots of stuff we don't know, and we're scared to admit it. I would like to thank all of the amazing adults that made this program possible, and also my fellow coming-of-age students and friends, and the whole church community.
So I'd like to call all of our coming-of-age youth up to the front here, and we're going to do a little ceremony.
These are hard acts to follow. And I want to thank you first, our coming of age youth team, for your courage this morning. Nicola, I would have died before public speaking when I was I would have insisted my mother drive me to another state. So I am so grateful for your messages this morning. And I have a wish for you today. My wish is simple. I hope that you will allow yourselves to fall into the grass, to be idle beneath the sky, and to take time. Take time to daydream. Daydream wild and amazing lives full of adventure. Daydream lives that hold our faith close, our values of love, generosity, transformation, justice, interdependence, equity, and religious diversity. Get lost in your dreams. Wander in them, because we need your dreams, your vision of future, your wisdom to inspire and lead us into the future. We need you to dream bigly and boldly. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
Yes? Daydream. I invite Tim to join me as we offer a collective blessing today for our Coming of Age program, a responsive reading called A Blessing for Bridging, as you step forward.
Myas, Chase, Nicola, and Harley, as you step forward into your next chapter, we send you our fondest hopes and blessings.
May life bring enough challenge to fuel your dreams, enough affirmation to honor your gifts, and enough nurture to give your spirit peace. Believe in your vision, follow your dreams, and know that when you return to us, here you will have the hands of friends. We are so glad you are a part of our beloved community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us celebrate.
There's a vote for you to do the sign. So, who wants to sign first?
What should I sign? My name?
Sign your name.
Okay.
Anybody want to sing anything? Come go with me to the Come go with me to the land. Come go with me to the land. Come go with me to the land. I'm bound. and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound.
Doesn't get better than this. We are going to sing together again. Please rise for our final hymn this morning, 346. Come sing a song with me. We are going to, I think, get down to this. Hopefully, that's my plan. Maybe. All right, 346. The words will repeat. Please rise as you are called. You're welcome to waltz. To waltz.
Yes, welcome to waltz. Here we go. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Woo.
It's nourished by love, sustained in faith, ready to courageously welcome the future of our faith, the promise of our faith, as we build the beloved community together. May we remain inspired by the voices and visions of our youth, and our hearts warmed by the welcome we offer those seeking community, connection, and a place to belong. Go in peace, beloveds. We extinguish this chalice, but not the fire in our hearts, until we meet again. And I understand there is cake. And we invite our COA program. You know, you've worked so hard, you're first in the queue for cake. So we want our COA program to enjoy the cake as measured. Yeah, I know. I know. I hear you, Beverly. I got a good night's sleep last night. You ready, Nick? Now it's time for cake. Have a good week, everyone. See you next Sunday at our spring festival.
Check, check, check.
So, unfortunately, they want this one back. Oh. This one needs to be reconnected, and we're good. Thanks. You're staying for the meeting? You're not, are you? It's here, yeah, podium and a handheld. I don't know. I don't think so. Just people here. No, no, but need sound. Just teach Chris how to use it? Oh yeah, Chris. That's not gonna happen. Well, it'd be nice to offload something so it's not always this group doing everything. Yeah. That's all. Another thing, Cindy, I don't know if this is something to bring up in the meeting, but I feel like we need some sort of thing back there, organized, yeah. A drawer, something to put things in. Me knocking over the stool for the millionth time is always fixed it. Yes, we do need a. Yeah, what would you say we need exactly? Like, is it a dresser, shelving, like? I think shelving would probably just a short shelf. Like, wouldn't have